Alright guys, I'm here to do my character spotlight today on Jon Snow, the Song of Ice and Fire character, the bastard on the wall, and the current commander of the Night's Watch. Basically, a little background on the character. Jon is the bastard son, supposedly, of Eddard Stark of Winterfell. While it's an unpopular practice in the story for a lot of the noblemen to have their bastard sons or bastard children, period, in and around their houses, Eddard actually decided to be different and raise him among his own children with his wife Catelyn. And Catelyn is not happy about this, and not only her being dishappy with it, Sansa is especially discriminant of him, and there was even a moment in between his older brother Robb that while they do have a good relationship, they were playing a game which basically Jon won and said he was king. And then it was kind of a bad moment when his brother Robb turns around and says, well, you can't win like that. Bastards are never kings. And that kind of put a strain on their relationship right there. Eventually, later on in the story, as most of the fans know, Jon will go on to become will go on to join the Night's Watch because he was told by his Uncle Benjen that even bastards have a good opportunity to go and be the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. There's a cool moment in the Game of Thrones book in between Tyrion and Jon to where they actually seem to be good buddies because both of them are discriminated against in the story and they can relate well. Jon, obviously because he is a bastard, and because of Tyrion because of his height. And it makes for an interesting relationship while they spend time together. Jon later on goes to become friends with Samwell Tarly, who is a fat, overweight craven who was sent by his father to kind of man up, so to speak. And even though that they have a lot of bullies out there, Jon befriends them and eventually gets him to toughen up out there. I really like his character, and they have a lot of interesting points of view with him. Like, if you get down to it in the books, besides Daenerys, Jon definitely has the most interesting, and you get to see him grow most as a character. Towards the end of A Clash of Kings, they're sent to investigate some wildlings which have been coming over the wall, and unfortunately, the main purpose of the Night's Watch, besides keeping the wildlings out, is to make sure that the beings known as the Others do not cross, and it's been a centuries-old tradition for them to go and protect the northern flank of the land of Westeros against these supernatural creatures. Jon eventually is cornered along with one of the night officers, and he is forced to betray or pretend to betray his master, and eventually side up with the wildlings, and he goes on to meet Mance Rayder, who was originally present in the Song of, in A Game of Thrones. It's also at this point when they get on into A Storm of Swords that he meets Ygritte, the wildling woman who kind of encourages him to forsake his vows as he goes to play a mole within the wildlings group, as well as learn information as much as he can on the others. Now, while this is happening, the Night's Watch have come over to search for him after a great battle, and after they've left Craster's Keep, they're attacked by the Whites. And basically what the Whites are like these supernatural zombies. They're not the Others, because the Others have been clearly established as being sort of demons. The Whites are basically the possessed dead bodies of anyone who happened to be killed over there, and some unknown force has brought them back to life. And eventually Jon returns back to his side and goes through a lot of hell, but eventually winds up becoming the Lord Commander among the Night's Watch. And as I look back over the 3 books where his point of view was, it's just really great to go and watch this character grow as he overcomes his bastard status, because, you know, he's always going to be discriminated against. And even when he's finally given the role of leadership, when Stannis Baratheon shows up over there, he goes and stands his ground because the boy's only 16, and even though the king is such an imposing figure, I kind of admire him for wanting to stand his ground among them. But yeah, basically this is just a short spotlight on Jon Snow. If you really want to read about him, if you haven't picked up A Song of Ice and Fire, go back and pick it up, because his point of view is in the first 3 books. And while they skipped him in A Feast for Crows, his point of view is supposed to come back, and he's supposed to have a lot of points of view in A Dance with Dragons. So hopefully whenever that book comes out, we'll get to catch up with